everyone, today I am finally going to be reacting to Everything Is Love by TheCarters, aka Beyonce and Jay-Z. Of course, I've heard snippets on social media, but today, after it's been out for over 5 years, figured I'd finally get around to it. And yeah, let's get into it. The first song is going to be called Summer.
Sand to the beach, hopped out the land with the sheep. Summer's light, summer's night, it's like Christ's masterpiece. She gave me a little swing, the chase behind my wing. I remember summer nights in the projects, undergrounds interrupting my cheek. I lay only the nights get cold, I wrap the yellow jacket around me. Let's make love in the summertime, yeah. Be in each other's arms, show you something real. Want you to come inside right now, know just how I feel. Let's make love in the summertime, love in each other's arms.
Love my changing, people changing. This way to express itself as I found my forgiveness.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song. It was nice. I was able to appreciate it for what it was. I like Beyonce's part. I think that Jay-Z's verse, I think I enjoyed it more like as it went along. I think I was able to, you know, appreciate it more. And, you know, I kind of like the pocket that he got in later, so I kind of warmed up to it more as it went. I can appreciate the production in there, you know, the instrumentals and stuff like that. And I believe there's like maybe a sample incorporated at the beginning. So overall, I can appreciate it for what it is. About the song on Genius Success. For the summer record, Cool had this music groove that he was working on and played it for me, and immediately I heard a melody, and it was definitely inspired by what we were seeing every day. There's a scene where Jay and B are on the beach filming each other on the sand and just enjoying the presence of each other, and we took what we saw and put it in the music. When they heard it, they took the idea and turned it into something. It was really organic. It was just creating amazing music in a great environment, just taking in all the vibes of where we were at and just writing off the highs. Me and Dre were in a special type of place. When we played them Summer, we would tell B and J, if you don't like the melody or words, we'll change them. We want to do anything to be a part of this. They were like, no, we love it, don't stop. That was one of the greatest things they would ever tell me in Cool, not to stop. And on the records like Summer, Beyonce would be like, I want to hear strings, I want to hear horns, use my strings section, use my horns. I got them all here. They really produced these records with us. That's why it says produced by Beyonce and Jay-Z and Cool and Dre. They definitely gave us direction, and when we were doing it right, they told us not to stop. Now to track 2, APESHIT. I've definitely heard parts of this one on social media before, but this will be my first time hearing it in full.
Pocket watch it like kangaroos. Tell these clowns we ain't amused. Hold the case when we came through. Presidential with the plain suit. I said no to the Super Bowl. You need me, I don't need you. Tell the NFL we in stadiums too. Ran through Liverpool like a fucking Beatle. Smoke Gorilla Glue like it's fucking legal. Grammys fuck that 0 for 8 shit. Ever seen the crowd going ape shit? Jumping off the stage, y'all. Can't believe we made it. This is what we thankful. You never seen the crowd going ape shit. But if I change, I don't give a damn if I ain't. I fuck with my bitches, I fuck with we go to the gym and top it out. All of my people are free, I'm on. I think that we wanna see the stars. Nobody bitch, you could go near. My man, my mama, my lord, my shield. I'm watching they wishing they equal. I got hands on the back of EVs. Hey, one night when I say I'll make you famous. Never seen the crowd going ape shit. Last night a Lambo. Crowd better save her. This is
So my thoughts on this song overall, like I said, I heard parts of it on social media, but I really enjoyed hearing the full thing. Such a contrast in energy from the first song. I just really love the energy that this had, and just like, you know, they're really feeding off of each other. So I really appreciated that. Obviously Beyonce ate it up, and so definitely, you know, giving 10s where 10s are due. One thing about Beyonce, she's gonna slide singing, rapping, whatever it is that she's doing. She's just that versatile. So really love to hear it. And you know, listening to the song again, I was kind of just thinking about the way that Beyonce's been able to adapt, you know, with times and stuff like this, with the new album Renaissance and stuff. You hear her rapping and all this stuff, you don't even think twice about it. She sounds perfectly natural on it, and it just like fits her, you know. She doesn't do it in a way that's like, oh, I'm trying to cater to the younger demographics and it feels cringy. Like, it just works nicely. So that really shows her versatility as an artist. I will say I really enjoy the rapping, I really enjoy the singing from her, you know, all that stuff just really ate in terms of that. I could appreciate Jay-Z's verse, I will say. It was really ironic. He said something about like, oh, we don't need the NFL or something like that, and then didn't he end up partnering with the NFL? So that kind of aged like milk, and there's so much in there that I don't even want to get to about that, because I'm gonna be here forever. But whatever, it is what it is on that. I don't want to get into it. And then he was saying, you know, we don't need the Grammys, you know, 0 for 8 is ridiculous, and the Grammys known to snub black people. The fact that she doesn't have an album of the year is ridiculous, but again, I digress. So like, those were things that kind of stood out to me like lyrically, but I really enjoyed his verse. For the most part, it was something that I could like really get into, and I believe that Migos are on this track as well, because I'm pretty sure I heard that this started off as a track for them, and then it ended up going to Beyonce and Jay-Z and stuff like that. So I think they were like kept on their ad-libs or something like that. So overall, I appreciate this track. I can enjoy it for what it is. Nice contrast from the first track. Really like the energy of it. Gonna be one of my favorites off the album. Nice listening to it in full for the first time. Now to track 3, Boss.
Just like you. Niggas getting jerked, that shit hurts, I take it personally. Just so they can pretend they're on my level, that shit is irking to me. Disturbing what I grow, survey says you not even close. Over here we measure success, but how many people successful next to you? Ain't nothing to it. Great grandchildren already rich. Got a brown turn on your Forbes list. I'll be riding around with my seat reclining. I be your wallet on these bum hoes. I ain't got no time.
Shout out to Ruby and Sir Love Blue.
Okay, so I really enjoyed this one overall. Again, a different vibe from the second track, but I really enjoyed the production, the instrumentation that was going on there. It had a really great groove to it, so I really liked that about it. Love Beyonce on it. I could appreciate Jay-Z's verse. I could appreciate kind of continuing on the last track, the braggadocio. I believe that's the correct word to say. I hope I'm not using the right word, but just, you know, kind of flexing in a sense, appreciating, you know, we worked hard for this, you know, this is what we have. And I kind of appreciate that, you know, in songs. I can appreciate the lyrics, the general sentiment of it. And so it was a nice piece on the album, and I appreciated its place in the track listing. And now to track 4, Nice.
I can do anything, yeah. Fuck your subpoenas and your misdemeanors. Was too busy touring out all your arenas. Y'all dragged me in court for that shit. Y'all back was after all of these years of drug trafficking, huh? What you do, you knew you couldn't fail. I have no fear of anything. Do everything well. Just nice. Tonight I might raise my price. Great advice. I can do anything, yeah. Hell no. Nice. Patiently waiting for my demise. If I gave 2 for 2 bucks, my streaming numbers would have put my name up on Spotify. Fuck you. I ain't never seen a ceiling in my whole life. That's worth to do. So nice. I'm everybody top. Damn, I can do anything. Yeah. Hell no. Nice. Running from the lights. Last lane gon' be here forever. And we finna float like feathers. I got the rocks and the feathers. Ice lightning bolts from the heavens. Anybody ever had an error when things could have been better? But the universe lifts that weight. Then you shine like a new feather. Feeling like the best year ever. And it's a nice day. Nice.
Okay, so my thoughts on this great record. I really enjoyed it. Jay-Z really came out swinging on this one, so I could appreciate his contribution to it. Really like what Beyonce was doing once again. Another one that I've heard on social media. I've heard a fair amount of this album on social media, and I already know I heard parts of it, but I'm realizing how much I've heard of it. You know, just like listening to this album, I recognize this part, I recognize that part. So the thing about if I gave 2 fucks about streaming numbers, would have put Lemonade on Spotify. I heard that on social media. She was really real for that, and I just really appreciate that. She just surprise dropped stuff, and you know, for Self-Titled to do what it did, that's history, but I digress. cigarettes and lemonade, and it just goes on and on. A legend. So I can appreciate that. I can appreciate, you know, the sentiments of the track. I like the production on it. Now to track 5, 713.
Cash in the closet, 24 karat faucet, the streets are still watching. No, baby blue is like, who gon' stop us? Ain't no way to stop us, love. Die for the 713, and we still got love for the street. Confidential exude, make the fool stay awake. Have me sitting next to you on a plane. Next time we would speak was like 2 years away. Hit me up on the phone while you were away. I want my dude to play cool, my first foolish mistake. Louis V and Goyard trunks all in the closet. My little baby blue is like, who gon' stop us? Ain't no way to stop us, love. I represent for the hustlers all across the world. Put it down for the 713, and we still got love for the street. Gotta be special for me to write this. My first time in the ocean went exactly as you'd expect. A leap of faith, I knew I was up next. I never told you, but I told a few people beware. First time in my life, a live nigga felt cash in the closet, 24 karat faucets. And my little baby blue is like, who gon' stop us, huh? For the hustlers, I put it down for the 713, and we still got love for the street. To the mothers that put up with us, we only know love because of you. Black Queen, you rescued us.
Okay, so my thoughts on this record, it was something that feels so New York in the best way with the production. I really appreciate Jay-Z's verse on here and just what he contributed to, and just like the energy and just, you know, all that. I appreciate what Beyonce contributed. It was just a really nice, you know, melding of like them both just like doing what they do best. You know, this whole album is really, but I just really like what they both contributed to this track in particular. It was a great moment on the album. I just really like how everything flowed on here. Now to track 6, Friends.
My friends, we're friends, better than your friends. No foes, we're friends, we ain't even gotta pretend. And it all on my prayer. Pull me up, pull me up. My friends, we're friends, better than your friends. I don't know what I would do without all of my crew. I ain't making no new friends, I don't make no moves. But I love my life, I love it. Stars don't trust no way. My friends are goals, your friends are foes. We smoke, we laugh, your stress, my stress. 10 toes, we was out on that road. Share shoes, share clothes, that's how deep the shit goes. Yeah. Switching sides like NBA teams, just at the halftime. Got me a Porsche, but it's got seats, just where they had meals. Henry a BM as soon as he came home. We hopped on a plane, mama died, I was there. He in my house, more than I be there, more than be there. Hot hair, shocker there, low there, they all here. Oh yeah, crew like the Soho house, I might stay in and grow out my hair. Y'all like the triangles, y'all like the troll, do you? You know everything you say from niggas close to you, you emotional. Y'all put niggas on a t-shirt, it hurts, you ain't never meet. I ain't gonna nobody nothing, and me and my wife beefing. I talk, take care of my kids, after he done grieving. What would I be without my friends? What would I be without my friends? Them you might just catch these hands. We fall out and we make amends. Closer than can, our souls explode, yeah. My friends, real friends, closer than can. Pull me up, never let me down.
Okay, so my thoughts on this song in particular. I feel like it was alright to listen to. I feel like it was repetitive, and that's not a bad thing if I really enjoy what is being repeated multiple times. But for me in this song, I just kind of like got bored of like the lyrics repeating that much, to be honest, and so that was like kind of my issue. It just didn't really progress how I wanted it to for the most part. I mean, there was like pockets of the song that I could appreciate. It was like towards the back half, like what Beyonce was doing on the back half for the most part, but just it kind of felt like monotonous. Like I said, like it wasn't really going anywhere that much for me personally. I can appreciate it, you know, for what it is for the most part, but it just feels very underwhelming in comparison to everything else we got from the album. I feel like the album has been pretty decent on the whole, and this kind of just feels like forgettable to me. It kind of feels like filler to me. You know, I'll listen to it more and see if it grows on me, but off first listen, not really my bag. Again, a moment or two that I like, but on the whole, there's other songs on this album that I personally enjoy more. I appreciate the sentiment of the song, and I think that it's something that is interesting to think about. For me personally, I value all my friendships very, very deeply. I believe in building deep friendships that, you know, can sustain and all this stuff. That's very important to me. I take my friendship very seriously. So I really like the sentiment of it. I think the execution of it could have been better, and that's my personal opinion. And now to track 7, Heard About Us.
Don't need to ask, you heard about us. We know about us. Watch your mouth when you're around us. I'm around stepping on next. My nigga got niggas upset. They don't want y'all say on their door. Louis, I got to your four door. But I keep it in a room in the middle of the winter. I took the bag, but we ain't no joke. Yeah, don't need to ask, King in his prime. For the 1000th time, the kid ain't mine. Cool on that chunk to 2 fingers. Every day I'm getting sued famous. I show up to court without, it could be far worse for you, can't it? Pain comes with penthouse views, ain't it? You know me, I've been mean since the cocaine. Bitch, no beef, she don't even need a hoe. Don't need to ask you heard about. If you don't know, now you know, nigga. We train to say to the face. We could keep inside your mind. Don't know, now you know, nigga.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song. I enjoyed it. I really liked the production there. It was something that was really fascinating to listen to, so I really appreciated what was going on in there. And I also really loved the vocals from Beyonce. I could appreciate JAYZ verse. I will say I really just like the sentiments of it. And now on to track 8, Black Effect.
Well, there's love of children, love of self, love of God. All of them have a different shape, but all of them is the same in the end. It's about passion. In everything, in all of that love, there is a soul. Trying to find the ones that match. That's again.
I'm good on any MLK Boulevard. They just treading my effect. They want that DOS effect. Yes. Put 'em up, this is not a test. That bitch that I rock shit permanent. Nigga late, but he best dressed. Pop them Lex projects, bitch, you reckless. Behind the back pass is so effortless. But then at 4 a.m. shit, I am the culture. Y'all can tell him Trayvon is coming next. My vision with a tech, bitch, I'm Malcolm X. Get your hands up high like a high. Put 'em up, this is not a test. Stop with your curls, your lips, stare up at me. Come up on that pretty motherfucker like hello. I like purple and purple rain. These people try and get me out the paint. Started with a mustard seed. Now we in the grade 9/11 with the mustard seeds. Shining my light on the world just like Umi said. They hit you with the rose gold all summer. They even biting cornrows. Put your scarecrows up. Good on any MLK Boulevard. They just treading my effect. They want that DOS effect. Let me see 'em up high. This is not a test.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song. I really enjoyed it. You know, based from what I was able to pick from the lyrics, you know, I didn't really have them in front of me. Kind of just seems to be about Black empowerment. And I will say it's just really nice to see Black people being successful, you know, because of all the obstacles that we have to go through due to racism and just how that's still affecting us to this day. So many things tie into that, I will say. And so whenever you see someone Black winning, it's like, you know, we really do love to see it. So I think that there's like so much value in that. And there's so many people who it's like their entire goal to try to keep Black people down and to try to make sure we're not successful and put obstacles in our way. So whenever we are successful, it just means that much more because of everything that's like put in our way. So I definitely appreciate that aspect about it. I will say I can appreciate the sentiments, at least that's what I was getting from it. I appreciated JAYZ's part. I appreciate what Beyonce was doing. I appreciate the instrumental. How everything came together was nice, so I liked it. Now on to the 9th and final track, Love Happy.
Haters, please forgive me. I let my wife break the will. I pray my children outlive me. Bitches friends to see nobody fucking winning. Her ass shit like his dad shit is trippy.
Sipping Yamazaki on the rocks. Yeah, you fucked up the first time we had to get remarried. Keeping it real with these people. Lucky I ain't kill you when I met that.
Y'all know how I met her. Moved the whole family west, but it's whatever.
Last house still throwing stones. Did some things to me. Love is deeper than your pain. The ups and downs are worse. We're flawed, but we're still perfect for each other. Beach ain't always been no paradise.
Just hood ass niggas in designer suits. Ooh, no Photoshop, it's real life.
So love is deeper than your pain. Believe you can change, baby. Long way to go, but we're working. Sometimes how we never see the light. Beach ain't always been no paradise. Look at us now. We came in, we saw, we conquered it all.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song. It was something that was really intriguing to listen to. I will say I like the production a lot. I like what both of them contributed to the track. Some of the lyrics caught me off guard, and you know, especially the one that says, yeah, you fucked up the first stone, we had to get remarried. Yo, chill, man, we keeping it real with these people, right? Lucky and kill you when I met that bitch. Nah, alright. Y'all know how I met her. We broke up and got back together. To get her back, I had to sweat her. Y'all can make up with the bag. I had to change the weather. Move the whole family west, but it's whatever. In a glass house, still throwing stones. All the bees watch the thrones, happy in love. And so so yeah, it kind of just seems, you know, even in just that small piece and, you know, other parts of the song, they're addressing their marriage and stuff like that. You know, we know the whole Lemonade album, which is iconic, by the way, of course, one of my favorite albums of all time, one of her best albums, but I digress. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, like, we went through a lot and it wasn't easy for us to get to this point. You know, we had to do hard work and, you know, you see one thing, but, you know, you really don't get what it took for us to get there. You know what I'm saying? I thought the Lemonade album was a beautiful piece and kind of just showing, you know, the entire arc of how she got to, you know, where she got to essentially. So I really like that piece of art in terms of just that aspect about it, and musically it was brilliant as well. And so I kind of like that they dissected out a little bit in the song, and I think it was just a great song, you know, just appreciating, you know, what they have in their relationship and stuff. So I could appreciate it and what they both contributed to the track. You know, everything worked nicely in my opinion. And now to my favorite songs and sound based on my first listen. I'm going to say APESHIT. I believe I really liked Boss, Nice, 713, and then I'll probably say BLACKEFFECT, and I love Happy as well. So these are just my favorite songs based off of first listen. Of course, as I listen to the album, my true like holy trinity will be revealed to me, but these are just the ones that stuck out to me the most. And now to my overall thoughts on this album. Like I said, I heard, you know, parts of this on social media, you know, throughout the years, and it was because, you know, Beyonce's on tour recently. I thought, you know what, I've never listened to this album, might as well give it a shot at this point. I thoroughly enjoy this thing. I think that it was something that fits nicely in the time I listen to it now. I really appreciate what they both gave us with this album. Beyonce singing Delightful as Always, rapping, you know, top tier, she really eats that up. You know, I genuinely enjoyed, you know, what JAYZ had to bring in terms of that. Their chemistry together works pretty well. You know, I really like how they, you know, bounce off of each other, something that's really enjoyable to listen to. I generally really like the production on this album for the most part. I like the songwriting for the most part. And yeah, the only song I really didn't gravitate towards was Friends, and like I already said, it kind of just felt like it didn't really go where I wanted it to, and that's like my personal opinions. Maybe it'll grow on me, we'll see, but I liked every other song on this album. I think there's some great highlights, you know, stuff that I will be going back to for sure. I like that it was short and sweet, didn't run on for 8 billion years. I always appreciate that in the album. I appreciate the album cover, you know, the aesthetics that I've seen on social media. I can appreciate this for what it is for sure. Glad that I finally sat down and listened to it. I know I'm really late to the party and everything. This war came around and stuff, and I was like, you know what, like I told myself for a bit I was going to get around to listening to this album, so those things in conjunction led me to listening to it today. So I was going to get it around to it eventually. It just led to this point. And so yeah, this is definitely something I'd recommend if you like Beyonce, you like JAYZ, you like them together. Like I said, I think they work really well together, something that's just good to listen to, and I just appreciate what they tapped into on this. Shout out to the songwriters on this album, shout out to the producers on this album, and you know, those who made it what it is. I can appreciate it for sure, and those are like kind of my thoughts on this, so I definitely recommend this if you're interested. It's a nice piece, fits in well with, you know, everything else I've heard from her. And let me know what you guys are thinking on this album down below in the comments. Again, I know this album has been out for a bit, you guys have already formed your opinions, but you know, I do this all the time listening, so it's been out for a while, so let me know what you guys think. What are your favorite songs, overall thoughts on the project, you know, anything that's really interesting, you know, like facts that you want to share, leave them down below as well. If you guys want to see more videos on Beyonce, I'll have it on screen right here to where you guys can go to check those out. They'll be at the end of this video and linked down below in the description, of course, and more is to come. As you guys know, I'm going to be seeing her on tour. I'm very excited for that. It's going to be coming up in this September, and so after I do that, I will post an album review on my second channel, of course, and so definitely subscribe over there to stay tuned to that. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give a like down below. It helps me align to your algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Hit the bell, get a notification to your phone when I post, so you're not missing brand new videos come out. The first link down below in the description will be my second channel. I'm slowly but surely getting around to, you know, catching up on there. There's stuff I recorded weeks ago that I'm finally getting out there. Yes, I know this is a SOS concert review is late, but hey, better late than never. So that is out now, and then I just posted my 2022 recap, and then I have my other recap that I am currently working on editing, hopefully be out sometime next week. And then I need to do my Flow concert review. Hopefully I'll have that out very soon for you guys, like the next week or two. I really need to film that and get that out for you guys as soon as I can. So I'm slowly catching up over there, so stuff is out over there, so definitely go subscribe. You know, new stuff is coming there as well as here. Also going to have my Twitter, my Instagram, my Spotify, my TikTok if you guys would like to follow me. Link to stream and stop if you're interested, and lastly, links to educate you guys on important situations. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.